We do have Dave Bossie waiting in the room.
The former deputy campaign manager for Donald J. Trump for president.
Good morning to you, David.
Good morning.
Snow's not going to stop you.
There he is.
Snow never stops me.
All right. Neither did the president stop tweeting. In fact, here's an example of a tweet that just came in, and we'll bring up this as we talk about this topic. And last night, we know that one of the shows on another network, MSNBC, had a big story. The 2005 tax returns of Donald Trump have been released, and here they are. He says this: does anybody really believe that a reporter who nobody ever heard of went to his mailbox and found my tax returns? NBC News is fake news.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Mr. President, for that this morning. Look, that's the reason that he tweets. This is exactly why he has that incredibly powerful instrument. He's going to set the stage for this today, and he's going to call NBC News out on this. This is a continuation of this fake news story that has been going on really to undermine this president for the last 2 years, all throughout the campaign and all throughout the transition. All we heard at the campaign was the president paid no taxes, the president paid no taxes, the president paid no taxes, and he's afraid of his tax returns. Release them, Mr. President, and that's their mantra. It's their mantra every single day they get into trouble. So the president, as it turns out, as we all know, on the president's team, like Ford, like Rockefeller, he is one of the great business leaders of in American history, absolutely in a generation. So we look to him as a success story, as an entrepreneur who built a company and paid enormous sums in taxes, as it now turns out. 2005 alone, $38 million in federal taxes, on top of the sales taxes and every other state tax and local taxes that he has to pay. So it is an enormous sum of money that he paid.
David, because, I think Rachel Maddow thought this was a big gotcha moment. As it turned out, it turned into her Al Capone moment. Yeah, it's a big nothing burger. But there are some who have suggested, hey, on the bottom of the second page of that, it said client's copy. And they have said, in fact, the investigative journalists wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump himself leaked it because he looks so good with this.
Yeah, look, that's ridiculous. President Trump is a very private person. He takes his privacy, the safety of his family, and his business empire very seriously.
Leak it? Who did leak it?
I wish I knew. Look,
whoever did. Somebody at the IRS?
Well, look, I have no idea. There's a lot of people in the pipeline that have access to copies. Clearly, this is from 12 years ago now, so I have no idea how this would get into the media. This happened during the campaign as well. So we saw once before that something just mysteriously appeared in somebody's mailbox. So this is not the first time. Yeah. I hope it's the last.
The guy is David K. Johnston, by the way.
Never heard of him.
Right. Neither has the president, according to his tweet. The White House did release a statement saying this was a desperate move for MSNBC and saying that it was illegal, so it doesn't sound like something he would have released. Laura Ingraham last night was talking about the leaks, and the latest leak, which is this tax return leak. Listen to this.
Those who leak this information must be found, must be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Absolutely.
Only a certain number of people have access to this information. That digital footprint is there. It can be rooted out. Everyone needs to be brought in. Everyone needs to be deposed. Everyone needs to lie detector tests, and you have to figure this out. Until that's done, I don't think anyone in the Trump administration is safe.
David, what's your reaction to that?
She's so good and so right. I served as the chief investigator for Congress for several years, and I can tell you, if I was there today, I'd be urging my chairman, whether it was Devin Nunes or Jason Chaffetz, to use the power of Congress, as well as urging the FBI and DOJ to do this. But Congress has a special oversight that they can get in and really try to root out these bad elements inside the government that are really that have taken hold and really trying to counter President Trump's agenda with their just really malicious leaks.
Okay, and David, I know you started by saying, look, the narrative from the Democrats has been the reason, he didn't pay federal taxes. Now we know at least that year he did. The very latest is the DNC says the reason he's not going to release his taxes other years is because he owes money to the Russians. It's back to the Russia thing.
I actually genuinely feel sorry for these people. They have nothing. They have offered the American people absolutely nothing since our November victory on ideas, on policy, and on a way forward for American workers. President Trump every single day is offering the American people a better way, a different way to go that we've been over the last 8 years, and that's what's making him so successful. That's what's turned the American economy literally around on a dime. His optimism, his hope, growth, and opportunity agenda for America, for all Americans, bringing jobs home, bringing jobs back to America, making American companies want to participate in the American workforce is just a tremendous thing. You just look at the job numbers from February. He's hitting it out of the park, and that's just the beginning.
Right. I would love to see him use two numbers now because he's just getting in. The number of people that have just been pushed out of the workforce because they can't get a job, and the numbers that, which is 4-point-something% of people, the unemployment number, which is incredibly small, and we could work on both those figures. But there is another Fox News alert as it revolves around today's travel ban, and that is that these jihadis, evidently, according to Fox News and our sources, are using religious visas to enter into the U.S. Is this behind the reason for the redone travel ban?
Well, I think this needs to be part of what they look at. The extreme vetting, as President Trump has talked about. This is a perfect example of why we need extreme vetting from all countries across the world. We know back in, I think, 2004, Hamas used this exact visa program to try to infiltrate America with about 200 different bad guys. And I think that this has been called out by many leaders, by many religious leaders across the country and members of the military for years. And I think that the president is looking at these types of programs exactly as the reason why he says we need extreme vetting.
So let's talk about Obamacare and the repeal and replace. Problems within the Republican camp. Amongst the people very upset by this plan and says back away, Senator Tom Cotton. Why do you think the president hasn't maybe tried to rein Senator Cotton in and said, you're hurting Paul Ryan's chances, a plan I back, by coming out continuously and say, bad plan, walk away?
Well, look, I think the House is going to be passing a bill that the Senate is going to seriously look at. I think the White House is looking at this as, let's get a really good repeal and replace bill together, bringing all sides together, which I know they are currently working with the Freedom Caucus and many others across Congress. Paul Ryan seems to be doing a very good job of now trying to bring everybody together. Right. I think they're going to bring together a bill that the American people can be proud of and that the Republican Congress can pass, and then the Senate will have their chance to make changes, to bring amendments, and I think that
he's making it more hard, David, he's making it harder for the House to pass it. Why?
No, I don't think I don't think Senator Cotton is making it harder. I think Senator Cotton is a senator participating in the process from the other side of the Hill, telling his colleagues on the House side exactly what he thinks needs to be in the bill to make it easier for the Senate to pass it. I think there's different ways to view what he's doing. I look at Senator Cotton as one of the smartest, most articulate men in the Senate, and I think the House leadership needs to heed what he is saying, and I think the White House is listening as well.
All right.
Thank you, David Bossie, live with us this morning. Great to see you.